In this lesson, I'd like to introduce the dsum function and the basic use of it in the design view of a query. If I open my orders table, you can see that we do have a freight column. I have 830 orders out here, and each order is charged freight. If I look out a little farther, I see that I do have a ship country. What I'd like to do is take a look at my total cost, my total shipping cost, freight cost that is, for Germany. I want to extract just the German records and then sum up the freight cost for that. In a new query, I might come out and open up the orders table and then pull down a couple of fields. I'll go ahead and pull in the freight, and then I will also pull in the ship country, and then just for some simple criteria, I'll type in Germany and then run the query. And you can see that out of the 830 records, I end up with 122 records for Germany, and I have the freight cost listed for all of these. Now, if I were to sum all of these up, say inside of Excel, I would see that I end up with 11,283 if I were to sum up just this column. But I want to have just one lump sum. I don't want to have to sum up a whole column. I just want to have one value show up, the total sum of the shipping cost to Germany. And I can do this with a dsum function. From the Access Help System, I can see that the dsum function syntax requires three parameters. First is the expression, or the name of the field you're looking for. The next is the domain, or in this case, the table name. So we want to look for the field inside of a certain table. In this case, it would be the freight inside of orders based on some criteria. And in this case, we'll come out and we'll say that the ship country must equal Germany. It will sum up all those records and return one value. It's important to note that each one of these parameters must be enclosed in double quotes for this to work. Back in my design view for the query that holds my orders table, I'm going to come out and just in my empty first cell of the first column of the grid here, I'm going to right click and choose build. And then from the build box, I'm going to go ahead and give this a name. Now this could be any name that you'd like. Just write a descriptive name. I'll just call this German freight. And then to start this, I'll come out and type in dsum and then open parentheses. Now remember, I have to start with a quote, so I'll go ahead and put in my quotations and I'll type in the name of my field, which is freight. Close this with a quote. Then I'll start with another quote. I have to put in a comma, which tells me that I'm on the way to my domain. I'm going to go ahead and type in the name of the table, which is just orders, and then close that with a quote, and then a comma, and then start with another quote. And I'm going to come out and say ship country is equal to Germany. Now, since I'm writing in literal text for Germany, I have to go ahead and put this in a single quote. Surround these by single quotes to tell Access that this isn't a number, this isn't a field name, this is literal text that I want to use here. I will close this with a double quote and then a paren, and it looks like I'm finished. I'll go ahead and click OK. And when I come out and run this, I will see 830 records, which is every record inside of my orders, but it just reproduces the same number over and over again because it's just totaling up the freight for Germany. So since there's 830 records, it's going to go ahead and display 830 records. If I go back in Design View and then click on my Totals button up here at the top, I could go ahead and just group these together. And when I run this, I end up with $11,283.28, which is exactly the same as I got in my Excel. So I know that this is working.